Hey everybody and welcome to Nerfcast. This is Josh.
And this is Shawn.
Bonjour, everybody.
Hey, we got the B.F.U's, even though he's out of town, so we don't know if he's going to be able to make this whole thing. I think it's what, 3:30 right now your time?
It is 3:30 where I'm at, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And if people want to find out where he is, follow us on Twitter and get some updated pics of Mr. B.F.U on his vacation with the Kuchtart.
I love my Kuchtart.
Loves it so much he's taking it with him.
I actually have discovered a very new love while on vacation.
Really?
They have Minute Maid Granny Apple here.
Ooh, that does sound good.
It's mad good.
Well, we're glad that you could make it, even if it's only for a little bit. So, I guess let's get started. There's actually a lot to talk about today. Luckily, sort of a bunch of stuff dropped in between our last one and this podcast. We were going to work on some guests.
Can I point something out real quick, Josh?
Who, what now?
Can I point something out real quick?
Yes.
I noticed that after we do our intros, you do one of two things. Either say there's not much to talk about today,
Or there's a lot to talk about.
there's a lot to talk about today. It's binary. Yeah. One of those two things.
Yeah, we have to preface everything so people know what's going on. Either they're going to in for a long podcast or a short one. But to be fair, I think we've said there's not a lot to talk about and then rambled on for an hour before. So
we all have a guess. We can talk about nothing forever, but when there's actual news, let's see how long the podcast goes.
Exactly. So a bunch of information was leaked. I guess it's, well, not leaked, but announced today. For us, when this podcast hits, it'll probably be a few days already that it's been out, so you'll probably already know about it. But I guess we'll talk about what was originally the Berserker that we were super excited about. And it is no longer.
I am now officially less excited.
Oh, you're officially less excited? So it is now going to be the Mega Rotofury blaster. That's the name change, which is very much like, what was it? The Rivonix 360 was originally supposed to be called the Roto Slam. So, Roto. I don't mind the name change. A lot of people were mad about it, but I know there's a Buzzbee blaster that's called the Berserker, so I understand completely why they would change it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, personally, I'm a fan of the term Roto just because it sounds so random and unique. It's almost like it's trying to say Robo or something else. Like, I don't know. I don't really think of shortening rotational or any sort of mechanism that's going on, at least in this blaster. This was called the Roto Slam 360. And it's like, yes, it rotates in a circle. But for some reason, Roto just seems so appropriate for it. So I'm happy to see the name live on in a new and hopefully way more popular blaster than this guy.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. B.F.U? I know you said you were less excited now.
Yeah, they took off the buttstock attachment, and that makes me sad-faced.
B.F.U is a button man, by the way.
I specifically scoured the earth for a red buttstock, for a Raider-style stock, just because of that leaked photo, and now I'm going to have to cob job it and put one on.
Oh,
Plus,
yeah, that is a little disappointing.
Plus, the Cyclone Shock already shoots 6. This shoots 10. So, do you want to, carry all that extra mass for the extra 4 shots? Maybe not so much.
Yeah, that's what we've been seeing a lot online. People complain about those exact two things: was the lack of a buttstock, which seems like it would really come in handy based on the priming mech, and the fact that it's obviously slamfire. So you're gonna have to kind of shoulder that to keep it as steady as possible when you're slam firing it. I don't know. They did the same thing, or not the same thing, but I mean when the no, not Rampage. What's the other one? What's the Raider? What did the Raider become?
The Rampage.
Oh yeah, the Rampage. The Rampage, not the Originator. When the Rampage came out, they didn't. The Roto page. When it came out, it was missing, or it didn't feature a stock the way the Raider did. I don't know what Nerf's like aversion to including stocks with things, or now apparently stock attachments is, because people kind of like that. Oh, I forgot to fix my chair. Sorry, it's gonna be squeaky all day.
Well, with the way blasters cost nowadays, I think if they started including butt stocks, we were looking at like $50 on up for most things.
Well, that's true, but I think it would be nice to have the option to use one. It seems like they're keeping the entire Mega line independent of the regular Elite line or the other lines, because none of them have like stock adapters or attachment points, or you can't put faux barrels on the front or anything like that. Yet they all have the same tack rail size. Yet nothing has come out to use that. So it's kind of weird to me. Like, either make it all universal or don't. I don't see a reason to omit a stock attachment point for that.
We need a mega butt stock.
That would be really cool. I mean, again, they made these things separate. I would definitely buy them. A lot of people have said they would buy them.
I think B.F.U has a good point about the expense part of it. They're probably trying to keep certain blasters' prices down.
Right.
And given how expensive the Mega series is to begin with, coming up with unique accessories that might not even really work with the entire Mega line just probably seems too cost prohibitive. The tack rail I do understand for the grounds of you can still use some of like the cam mount stuff or any of the other gear that you could put on there, like the older stuff. Some of it makes sense, but I was sitting here trying to think of when was the last time Nerf came out with a rail mount accessory that wasn't related to just putting your phone in and using it to record stuff, and I was having a hard time remembering.
The long shot, the Zombie Strike long shot, I believe, has a scope, and so does the not the clear shot. What is it? Yeah, maybe the clear shot. That other weird little Zombie Strike. It's like a single shot blaster.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. And then also, they did come out one for the Vortex line as well. It was like a little, which one was it? I'll say Praxis, but that's not right. Vigilon. I think the Vigilon came with one. Might have been the Dragon.
Oh, Vigilon? Maybe not. Oh, I put Zombie Strike. That's why.
It was like that kind of like telescoping light scope, which was really cool, actually. I really liked it. The design was really great on it, and I kind of wished they revisited for other blasters, but I also understand that a lot of the Vortex line is very space age looking and very like sci-fi looking. So it wouldn't have fit in really like the Mega or the Elite line or Rebel or Zombie Strike or everything else that's out now, but it was a cool touch. I kind of wish they released more scopes, even though they don't really do anything. It gives us more options than just kind of using old scopes that don't fit anymore or anything else.
Right. Nitron. That's what it came with, the Nitron. I was looking it up, sorry. Nitron, the clear shot, the Zombie Strike long shot, all have some accessories. So, I mean, I completely understand the use of keeping the tack rails there. And for most of the other blasters, I understand why there's no front, that you would never want to put a rail on something like this Centurion, or even any of the other blasters that come out for the Mega line. For this guy in particular, I don't see why you wouldn't want to have a stock adapter, especially because they do have stocks that are currently being produced with like the new Retaliator kit. Oh no, there's a Strafe kit, I believe. It comes with the Stockade stock now.
Nice.
The Retaliator has its little tiny stock. The Demolisher has a stock. I think the thing is everybody wants to see the Raider stock redone or something similar that's a little bit more adjustable. But even without that, just not putting on the ability to add on a stock doesn't really make sense. Especially since it seems like something you would really like to have on that blaster.
Yeah, or just anytime in general they build in a stock, I'm always kind of like, why don't you just make it detachable? Makes it a much bigger solution for a blaster than having a stock that might look cooler a little bit, but not really be applicable other than the blaster it's attached to, and then you're kind of at the mercy of if that blaster is good or not. I mean, with with the God. Now I'm doing it the other way. Not the Rampage. The Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's say you don't like the Raider, which I was okay with the Raider back in the day.
Yeah.
It was nice that you could take off the stock and, like, I'm going to put this on an Alpha Trooper now. But I'm going to buy a Raider now because I need that stock, you know? If you're not going to sell outside accessories, at least make what you're building into the blaster not permanent. And, you know, same old stuff we say every single time, accessories.
Yeah.
We need
completely agree. And like you were saying, it's the only two things you can't, even if they had an adapter for a barrel, you couldn't use any of the Nerf barrel accessories because obviously a Mega Dart won't fit into it. So, I mean, I understand that to a degree. Stocks are just really, I think, the best thing that Nerf can make for accessories at the moment. Yeah, sights are cool, but for the most part, they're impractical. They just look really neat. Same with the barrels. They look neat, but they don't really do anything. But if anything, you know, they might actually hinder ranges depending on the barrel. But stocks are kind of crucial and integral, and a lot of people can buy them and use them on any blaster that accepts them. So,
especially with slamfire blasters, because having a stable part to your body to actually kind of ground it to help with your aiming. Like, recoil is not a thing in Nerf, but if you're trying to slam as many darts as you can, as quickly as you can, every little bit of bracing helps.
Oh yeah, definitely. And speaking of slamfire, I think that this sort of, I don't know, gives me a bit of insight into why slamfire wasn't included in the Cyclone Shock. Because as B.F.U was saying, like, why would you, a lot of people as well have been saying, you know, it's 6 shots there, 10 shots here, like, do you really want this giant blaster for 4 more shots? Well, it's cool, it has slamfire, and the Cyclone Shock doesn't. I don't see any reason why they couldn't have included it, other than to try to push this blaster a little bit more. Like, it's the first Mega Blaster with slamfire, and, you know, it's cool, and it's big, and it looks really awesome. You know, we'll see.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm sure it'll be super performance once people dial down the barrels and use elite darts instead.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that too.
Yeah, I mean, people are already talking about, you know, trying to make it rear loading, and obviously, like you said, putting it down to regular elite size. I want to know just how big this blaster is, because we always kind of look at it and we think it's going to be this giant red blaster. And sometimes it is, but it might not be as large as we're thinking it's going to be here.
Yeah,
I mean, oh, go ahead.
No, I was thinking it's probably going to be a little longer than a rough cut and just really wide.
That's very possible. Very possible. I feel like the entire, I'm looking at a picture of it here, like most of the backside could have been chopped off, because I can't imagine the internals that you need that much inside of it. And, you know, obviously put a stock on. Yeah. The front barrel, okay, you're going to need that so you have the underbarrel prime. Got it. So far, so good. All makes sense. That guy. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
I think it's going to be a little bit bigger than the Roto Slam, personally. Like, I could see a lot of the same aspects of it really applying.
Right.
Whereas the actual revolving part is going to be a little bit bigger just to help with the... Actually, might not be.
It really might not be. Because the Roto Slam, or the Revonix, was it called?
Yeah, Revonix. Roto
I mean,
Slam.
It had that weird mechanism where the discs, instead of going in the way that they're going to fly out, are kind of flipped forward, and then they flip to be sort of like a frisbee side down. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, I mean, and that's those are definitely bigger than a Mega Dart. How many, I guess, barrels of
I'm just counting that
discs
now.
are there?
1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 5.
Huh, okay. So yeah, we're going 12. Yeah, I mean, it might be around the same size, a little bit larger.
I mean, you can maximize the space better in here because the discs are, of course, wider than a Mega Dart is. So you can cut back some space on there, plus the dead space in between. You might be able to utilize that a little bit better. Plus, you don't have to worry about that whole mechanism of trying to flip the disc upward in the right direction. The darts are already facing the right direction.
Right, exactly.
So I think I could see ergonomically it feeling very similar to a Roto Slam, which at least has the capability for a butt stock back here. If you want to
Right.
put something in there. So, I mean, that's the number one reason I would have this for spam. So, for a Mega Series, I mean, that's as spammy as you can get. So that part's a plus. I wish it held more darts, but I mean, as someone who's been very excited about Mega Darts for the past couple of months, I'm definitely intrigued. I will definitely pick one up. I mean, I was ready to rock a Thunderbow after using it at one game. Like
Right.
that, I was going all Mega, so I could definitely see that being a primary for me, just because, let's face it, most people on the battlefield, especially newer players, are going to look at that thing and think it's beastly. Same with the bow, too, but except the bow, you can actually see, like, oh, there's a wind-up time, you know, you could, when you're drawing the bow back, it might mess with your aim a little bit. At least with this, if you find some way to kind of brace it against your body, you can expect a bunch of Mega Darts flying at you very quickly, which I think is the only real appeal it has going for it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something we've talked about with the entire Mega line in general, because we've had sort of the problem with the Mega Clip system, just the magazines being so large, and them not being able to do. I mean, they could, in theory, do something larger than a 6-round magazine, but it would just be so cumbersome to sort of put on your body and carry on you that it made sense for them to go in this direction of let's make blasters that use either a rotating cylinder or smart AR technology or something like that. And I mean, I think there's only going to be so far you can go, obviously. People are saying, why are there only 12? Well, we'll see how large it is when it comes out, but when you start putting more than 12 darts in a blaster that is not going to be clip-fed, you're going to have to start looking into space constraints and how big you want to make things. So I don't know really how far you can go with it.
I think the best option, honestly, if you want something that's flywheel-based, is coming up with a Vulcan designed for Mega Darts. Just have chains that you can tie together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool.
you have to have a giant box for the ammo, but I mean that kind of solves the capacity issue right there. You know?
I seem to remember a video like a long time ago that someone put up of people like visiting either like some sort of Nerf headquarters somewhere or something in China. I honestly don't remember. I don't even know if there's an explanation on the video, but it was just a giant Vulcan, like a huge version of the Nerf Vulcan shooting these big old darts. And I haven't thought about it for years until you mentioned it right now.
I remember
If
that.
I can find the video.
I remember that. It was a huge Vulcan. It wasn't like redesigned or anything.
Literally just a Vulcan,
So
but giant.
Here's my question. If you look at the image, right, see this right here, this little space between the gray handle and the red? Do you guys think that's white, or do you think they left a gap there? Because they've been cutting holes in handles lately.
Oh, on the actual handle, it's got to be white. They wouldn't have a handle
On the
actually be a
actual
two-part handle.
That would
Say this.
so many kids would get injured off of that.
Yeah, it just seems really weird if they left that. And it looks like, I'm blowing it up on my screen, it looks like there's some shading around it. Like it's not the same color as the background. So
Yeah, my guess is if you look at the Alpha Trooper, which luckily I have right here too. I'm opening another tab. The Alpha Trooper handle also has this white part right here. The difference is the white part ends before the gray part begins. And that's where the end of the handle is. My guess is the Rotofury just has the white going down all the way.
Yeah, me too. Because it looks like the obvious clip point is right behind it. And I can't imagine... Yeah, it doesn't... I'm just trying to look at it really close up. It looks like there's some shadow on the white from the other layers. So, yeah, I think it's definitely just paint.
It looks just as white as the Mega strip, or the white line right above Mega on the Rotofury. I think someone just photoshopped it to look extra clean, is my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine they do a handle that's literally like 2 parts. I know that the what was it that came out that had just a hole in the handle? Oh, the Flip Fury had just like a hole randomly in the middle of the handle, and it was kind of weird. Yeah. But speaking of, it's Flip Fury, right? I'm not crazy. It's not like Flip Fire. It could be Flip Fire, and I'm just,
No,
It's
Fury
Flip
is a
Fury.
blaster.
okay.
Yeah.
But they've made another Zombie Strike announcement, very similar to the Flip Fury.
Mm-hmm.
The Doominator.
Best name I think Nerf has ever come up with, by the way. Doominator.
I concur.
I really do like the name. Now the blaster, I don't know how much I'm gonna like.
Oh, I like the Doominator. It's so doomerific.
So I mean, obviously it's very much inspired by the Flip Fury, and sort of they're reusing that whole mechanism, which I'm totally down with. I enjoyed that, and it worked well.
So here's where it's weird.
Okay.
If you look at the blaster, right?
Yep.
There seems to be a nice sized gap between, like, look where it's going to shoot the dart through the barrel.
Yes.
See all that white? I wonder how they're going to create a seal there to propel the dart forward. I wonder how that works.
I think actually, if you look slightly beneath that, like, there's actually the rotating mech and then the cylinders, and I think that it's going to shoot. I don't know. That's a good point.
Right?
There's got to
'Cause
be
it looks
something.
like
Huh.
Doesn't it look odd?
It really
yeah, 'cause I
does.
saw that dead space. Any wind is going to knock that dart aside, and it's going to drag on the barrel. It's a good point.
I'm wondering, so do we know how this thing primes? Is it the front lever or is it the little two-finger jobby?
So,
I mean, I was a two-finger jobby, but I was actually going to say the same thing. If you look at the handle at the front, it almost looks like it can move.
mhm.
I wonder if there'd be like a priming bar hidden in there, similar to like how the Alpha Trooper does it, just like a little metal rod that goes to the back. It seems really long, though. That'd probably be flimsy. The lever action makes more sense to prime it, but yeah, that bar looks movable too. So I was thinking the same thing.
So
The only-
my guess would be, because the article that I was reading said that it uses the same sort of tech as the Flip Fury, which would be that
Okay,
little
so that's
lever
got
at
to
the
be the
bottom.
flip.
So that's
That's gotta be
got
the
to
flip.
rotate the cylinders, which means it's either the front actually slides back, or in like the top of the blaster in the same place that you would have a strong arm or anything like that. There's a gray piece. I'm wondering if that just goes back. It's like a gray and green sort of part that you could pull on. That would be like a potential priming handle. It'd be a horrible place for it. And if they were smart, they would make it this front piece.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm almost wondering if this
What
is similar to the if it's similar to the Hailfire, where you have something to prime and then something. Well, Hailfire is battery powered, obviously, but I could see maybe one of the mechanisms just being designed to accelerate the carousel over to the next round of darts, and then another thing to actually prime the blaster itself.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Would those? You think those would be the same? Like the finger.
It's one of two routes. It's either one bar does everything, and when it cycles through 5 shots, it goes through, or basically, I could see the little fingers below being like the priming part to actually get it ready to fire, and then you have to use the front handle back and forth just to move it over to the next carousel. Because I think Nerf is kind of understood as if you automate a blaster to like go through a cycle and then just switch over to something automatically, it doesn't work out that well because sometimes you don't have all the chambers loaded. You might have to accelerate through 4 or 5 chambers and fire a bunch of shots to get to the chamber it's actually filled. I think it makes more sense to have a different mechanism to actually accelerate the carousel forward and then something else to actually prime your shots.
Gotcha. I mean, I agree. I think that it's pretty much exactly like the Flip Fury, where you've got one priming mech that you can shoot, and you can shoot all 6 shots from that cylinder out, and then you have the lever action or a trigger below that rotates to the next cylinder.
Actually, I haven't used the Flip Fury yet, so that's probably why I'm not relating it over to that.
Oh, gotcha. So the Flip Fury basically, it's like a strong arm. I mean, the top.
Yeah.
The top back
I've seen
portion.
pictures of it, so it just clicked in my head what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the question is just what does
what.
what.
I'm wondering if the priming handle activates something in the back and see where the Nerf logo is on the main body.
Yes.
it pushes like a little tube forward, that creates the seal for the dart and then pushes the air that way.
I honestly can't imagine that that's it. I have to just think that this is either something is this is just like a mock-up
Yeah, maybe
and
it's a
this isn't the
mock-up
final
because
product.
that's a huge
But you're
gap.
right. So in the back of the cylinder, there's just a ton of dead space. Either that, or where this. So if you look past the cylinder, there's like another little black piece that obviously looks like the rotation mech that rotates all of the cylinders around in circles. I'm wondering if there's air that goes into there, and it uses a smart AR system.
Oh, you know what? I bet you that black frame that's around, see the center chamber that's exposed right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I bet you that whole thing rotates. You're right.
Yeah, I'm thinking that whole thing rotates, and maybe, like right where you're saying, right where it says Nerf, it like the whole cutout kind of
Yep.
goes in a big rectangle, but then there's a small little cutout for the little part that looks like it rotates. And I'm wondering if air is basically pushed through there, and then
Right.
pushed through the smart AR system of whatever's rotating. I
Just
don't have
thinking,
no
I'm
idea.
sure it's going to be a I'm sure it's going to be a pain in the ass to open this thing up. I hope it fires hot like the Flip Fury does.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ideally, I would want this thing to prime with that vertical, like front
Yeah.
grip, just haul back on it and fire, and then use the two underneath to
What's
just.
interesting is if it does prime with the vertical front grip, doesn't it seem like a short prime?
It does seem like a really short prime. That's what I'm concerned about. But I mean, think of the Flip Fury and like the Strong Arm and stuff. They don't have very long primes.
That's true. That's right.
I mean, I'm going to come out and just be like, I don't really have a huge interest in this blaster other than just learning about it. I personally would probably never run it.
I could see this being a really good cosplay blaster once again because it kind of looks like a grenade launcher. But
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's the whole appeal of the Zombie Strike line in general. It's where Nerf takes risks, and sometimes they pay off very well, and sometimes I look at this and think, like, you know what? It's like a couple of the Zombie Strike blasters I've released recently. It looks interesting, and it looks fun to mess around with, but at a game, I just imagine it not really providing the functionality I would need in particular.
Right.
No. Once again, I say this about a lot of blasters. I don't feel like I'd be necessarily disadvantaged. I would just feel like ergonomically it's not what I would like.
Right. And I mean, you're right on the money. The article, the Nerdist.com article that I saw this at, likened it to the M23 that Tom Hardy's using in Inception.
Yep.
And as a cosplay blaster, I think it looks really nice. I think my problem is going to be modability, because internally I feel like it's not going to be much more than a glorified strong arm. It might prime a little better, but I mean that's kind of to be seen. Second, there's no stock attachment or anything on it, which kind of sucks. If it does have slam fire and it does use that whole front piece. Third, and here's kind of what doesn't make sense. I like the Flip Fury because it kept it pretty much a little bit bigger than a strong arm, but your width is about the same because you're just flipping the cylinders. Because this has what, 4, I think it looks like, or is it 6?
It might be 5.
I think here, let me check. The article says how many.
5 is kind of the golden number for Nerf, so it might be
So
that.
it says 24 darts, right? And presumably these cylinders hold 6 each.
Yeah, that makes sense. So four cylinders.
Yeah. Which means one's on the top, one's on the bottom, and then 2 on the sides, which means then you have cylinders sticking out of the side of the blaster the whole time, which, don't get me wrong, that's not my problem with it, because I'm fine with a blaster having a big rotating mech. That's basically what we just talked about with the Rotofury.
Rotofury.
My problem is, if you're going to do that, what is really the purpose of having 6 individual cylinders that are going to rotate? Because I'm going to shoot boom, 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 6 shots and then have to rotate, presumably, to the next one. Why would I not just have like a full drum of 24 or even more, because you might be able to save a little bit of space instead of having the rotating mech in there? and then just fire, and go through all of them all the time. Like the rotation mech seems cool, but it's more gimmicky because you're going to use the space anyway, whereas the Flip Fury, to get 12 and make a 12 dart cylinder, it would have been a little bit thicker, and you wouldn't have had that flip mechanism that kept it thin. I don't know.
I think kid is the answer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh,
kids aren't going to care about.
He does have a little bit of video.
Who, me?
Oh.
Yeah, you.
I was just I was showing the blaster the whole time. You guys were doing that.
No, I saw the blaster down there, but.
Oh. Yeah, I just flipped the camera.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, I think it's just a matter of Nerf could maximize it a little bit better, but
yes.
I mean, I feel like for the most part they're not in the business of optimizing blasters. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Otherwise, hey, you know what? Everyone's just going to go for that blaster.
Oh, for sure.
So, I think for this, it's more of an interesting, novel idea to run with than having, of course, a giant cylinder just cycling it through. Yeah. Might be something about like if you have one part having to move 20 to 24 times just to go through an entire magazine. Maybe it has wear and tear on it more than this, where it's more smaller individual moving parts.
Very possible. It's going to be one of those things that I'm not going to be able to say 100% until I use it. It might be a lot of fun to use, and I think that's one of the things. Yeah, right. I don't know. I think it's one of the things we talk about with like the Flip Fury is where like it's not really great for a primary. It's not ideal for a secondary, but it's a lot of fun if you just have a fun game and you want to go use it. This might be the same. Might be very much the same. It definitely looks amazing. They put a lot of detail. If this ends up looking like the final product, just a lot of detail in it. I like that. And I'm a fan of that green.
One thing I have to say about Nerf's design team is I feel like they've stepped up their game big time. Like, I feel like I never look at a blaster and think it's boring or it's simple. Mm-hmm. Everything has some sort of flair design going for it. Be it Zombie Strike line, the Rebel series obviously looks... Every time I see a Rebel blaster, I get really excited about it because the design just looks so fun. And then, obviously, the Mega line... Everything they do is looking cool lately. Nothing kind of looks just like a gun anymore. Everything looks unique. So.
I think they're doing a really good job of putting branding into different lines. So each line has a very unique look and feel to it, even though they all basically do the same stuff, right? They all have, for the most part, blasters that are spring or this prime or that prime, but they all have, I mean, if you see tape wrapped around a handle, you know it's Zombie Strike. Like Zombie Strike has its own colors, its own designs, and then if it's all smooth lines, boom, Rebel stuff. So total kudos to them because I like it. I like the heck out of it. And again, not everything to be for people that do wars like us.
I like it because it shows that the Springer is not dead.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. Well, I mean, hopefully you did say that it does have that gap. Who knows? It could have flywheels.
It's not flywheels.
I know.
Yeah, there's just a dart pusher that pushes it into the flywheels. That's why there's so much dead space there.
What would be kind of cool, the way that vertical grip goes into the little gray piece there. Yeah. I wonder if that's a screw-in or if that's like if you just can unscrew it or something. That would be cool. Then you could change. It'd be easier for people to make new grips. Because I'm looking at it from the perspective of having it used like with a shotgun grip. Mm-hmm. And I think I could get some use out of it if I can make it a shotgun grip.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that's gonna work as well because it definitely looks like it's in there. If I were to hazard a guess, I would say you're probably gonna have to take it apart and then it'll just be fitted in that way. I don't see a real reason for them to make it unscrewable. But we shall see.
Mm-hmm. The other part is, how hard can you make it shoot? If you can make it shoot like a Rampage with a spring in it, then their front loading has some advantage that you can carry that much ammo on you.
That's true. That's very true.
Look at a Rampage, it's pretty unwieldy with the side drum, right? Mm-hmm. So 24 front loaded darts, you can get it to shoot around 90 plus with Kush darts might be something kind of useful.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. It definitely would be a better primary, and I'm not gonna lie, it would be really cool to see somebody rocking this as a primary and the Flip Fury as a secondary, just flipping all the things.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of the big two announcements that came out. I guess kudos to Nerf for announcing the Doominator, because it's funny to me that they said they were going to make an announcement for the Zombie Strike line, and then they ended up announcing the Flip Fury, which we were like, well, that's cool. We already knew it was going to come out, right? And then was it the
I
Flip
think
Fury? Yeah,
wasn't
Yeah.
it a few months ago that Blaster Parts DE previewed like a piece of this blaster, like one little square.
they might have. That could have been a thing. I
I
honestly.
think this was the thing. Like they showed a square, coming in a few months or something like that. Everybody was trying to figure out what it was, and they definitely showed off the cylinders.
Oh, did they? I don't know. I
I thought so.
remember. I definitely remember them saying, "Hey, there's an announcement for like a Nerf on a Nerf UK site. Um,
That might have been
that
it.
is gonna have they're gonna announce something specifically for the Zombie Strike line." And then when it came about, it was something that it was the Flip Fury. We already knew about it. We were like, "Oh, way to go, Nerf! Not announcing anything new." And then this just kind of drops. Like, all right. I mean, clearly you've had this planned because you didn't just come up with this overnight.
Mhm.
But hey, cool, new stuff. I'm happy. Everything is supposed to hit in fall, I believe. Well, everything being both of these two blasters.
Mhm.
So hopefully we'll see it earlier than that, per usual with Nerf. But yeah. And then there was some other stuff that came up on the Reddits today, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been.
Yep.
Yes, yes, indeed. Um, so there's some modulus upgrade kits that a, a user has found on a UK toy distributor website.
Mhm.
When they were searching for Rotofury, apparently, they found these modulus upgrade kits. So that
I think
definitely.
I
Oh
think
Mhm.
the
God.
user's name was Old School Tommy, just to give him a shout out real quick.
Yeah, Old School Tommy is who I'm actually going to right now put it up on Reddit.
Mhm.
And so you found this Hasbro products page on UK toy distributor ABG. It's
Oh
GEE
shoot,
website.
we skipped a blaster
We did?
that came out this week. Yeah, did you guys see the bow with the automatic rotating mech?
Oh yeah. Do we know that it has an automatic rotating mech?
I think
I
that's what
didn't
they said
see.
in the. I thought that was in the product description.
Oh, I didn't even see a product description. I just saw a picture of it, and I
Yeah,
was
same
like,
here.
"That's cool."
Oh
It's the one that uses the
yeah, I
full
forgot
arrows
about that. Shongasm.
that Nerf had with the other bow, right? The Agent
Yeah.
bow.
Yeah, same arrows, but apparently the mech automatically moves.
Oh, interesting. So I saw the picture, and I wasn't certain if that actually rotated or it was just a holder or like how things. The
Mhm.
picture only showed it from one side, not the other, so I was pretty unclear on how it worked or anything like that.
And I think it's just like you press a button and it rotates to the next arrow.
Oh,
Mhm.
that could be really cool.
Hold on,
That's really
let me
handy. The
well,
The
while you guys are
uh,
chatting, I'll look for the article.
okay, he's gonna look for the
Mhm.
article. What were you
Yeah.
saying, Sean?
Or don't chat.
I was gonna say one of the things that really kind of bugged me about the Agent Bow was the slow rate of fire on it.
Yes.
Um, I mean, obviously it's a single shot blaster, but just the effort it goes into line up the arrow, get it in, and fire it correctly. With enough practice, I've gotten pretty decent with my Zing Bow about like reloading it and firing it on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was one annoyance with the Agent Bow, but having a cylinder that automatically accelerates the next arrow to you, that way in your downtown you can kind of just load that up and it's not messing with the actual priming and firing area. I think it's a very clever idea if they actually went that route. If it's just holders, then it's whatever, but
Right.
if it's something that actually accelerates another arrow into the right area to fire, yeah, I could be down for that.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's. I don't know if this is something that Hasbro has just learned from, bringing out the sort of first line of bow stuff and Rebel things, where they're like almost everything was single shot, and they really wanted to change that. If they did, kudos to them. Uh, that was the weird thing about the Agent bow. I didn't even have a problem with it being like a regular bow, like you said, like a Zing bow. You can take an arrow and slap it in, and you just got to kind of practice to get better. With the Agent bow, it had that weird little like triangle thing you had to like put the arrow into to load it, so it would
Mm-hmm.
go through it, right? Um,
Exactly.
that thing was, and that was terrible. I mean, it was just really bad. The bow itself performed all right, but then like the arrow would hit the little box that it was in and all that sort of stuff.
So I got the product description here.
Oh, okay.
It's from toysabout.com, and it's like an article for parents, like a little preview article.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an exclusive sneak peek at the new Nerf Rebel Aero Revolution bow, which will be available in retail in fall. The newest Nerf Rebel bow provides players with the ability to quickly reload darts using high-tech auto-feed rotating quiver.
Huh. Interesting.
And yeah, it's got like a little button on there. That's actually kind of sick.
No, I'm looking at it right now. It looks really cool. Yeah, if it just rotates and lines it up, so all you got to do is pull the string back more or less, line up, knock it, and go. That's awesome.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, good. I kudos to them for watching the Avengers and seeing Hawkeye's quiver.
Learn from Hawkeye.
Yeah, it really does look like that.
I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, I wonder if people could take these apart and mount the automatic part like on your leg, so you have an extra set. I mean, for cosplay stuff.
Oh, right.
You could just kind of that would be kind of dope.
That would be really cool. It definitely looks amazing. Compared to the other one that they had. And I think this is the picture that I saw. I wish I could see from the other side because I wanted to see if it still had that weird like box that you have to have the arrow inside of. Because one of the problems was when you would fire, if you didn't line it up correctly, the tail would like hit the box and it wouldn't go. It would go like 20 feet.
It definitely looks like there's some kind of internal guidance mech on the side of the quiver, but I wonder if it just loads it for you, slots it for you, and all you just do is kind of, like you said, pull back and let it ride.
That would be awesome. That would be really, really cool.
It looks like it shoots a little bit low because it looks like they're shooting out of if you look at the picture, like underneath where the trigger and the guard is,
right.
Like that's where they come out. But again, I mean, good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably for all the new stuff that came out. I was pretty impressed. I thought this was a really neat idea.
It's definitely different. I mean, it's just rotating a cylinder more or less,
right?
But it's just a whole different way of doing things. And kudos to them for trying to keep that new ammo alive with the arrows, because I thought it was a great idea when they brought it out to sort of compete with Zing and some other stuff.
Did the original ones whistle? Because it says these come with whistle arrows. I don't think the original ones whistled, did they?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I only played with it for like 5 minutes, and then I don't remember what happened to it.
But I'm sure it's in Shawn's favorite color scheme of purple. So
yes, very important because it's Hawkeye colors.
That's right.
Notes from the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
So, I thought this was a pretty neat one. I want to make sure we didn't skip it.
No, thanks for. I totally forgot about that hitting.
I felt like we talked about it last podcast, but then I remembered that it happened last week, which is a gray zone for us. So,
yeah, Yeah,
All right, now on to the other stuff.
Yes. So, as we were saying before, there was on Reddit a thread about UK toy distributor ABG on their website. User Old School Tommy was looking for Rotofury. He did a search, and he found a bunch of stuff and like numbers, which I assume are kind of like DPCI type
it looks like
numbers.
There's a bunch of Rebel stuff on here too.
Yeah, so there's the Doominator, which obviously we've already sort of seen and talked about,
Right.
And there's a bunch of stuff for the Modulus. Now it's flip clip upgrade kit, stealth ops upgrade kit, strike and defend upgrade kit. I think it's supposed to be like strike and, but there's an end.
I feel like we're about to get a bunch of recolored old accessories, like the Stampede shield.
The long range upgrade kit, and then the actual Modulus EC10 blaster or ECS10 blaster. So already that makes me think that it's gonna feature the little banana style 10-round magazine that came with the Demolisher. That's the only 10-round magazine we've seen so far.
Right.
It would be kind of weird to get a straight 10. I mean, it wouldn't be bad, I suppose, but I don't see why they would do it if they already have a 10-round. It's interesting. So it sounds like there's going to be a lot of different things you can do, like the way that people were talking about actually modding the Modulus, like it's like a self-mod type deal, where you can get kits and then upgrade it to do different things. I don't know if that'll actually... So from my line of thinking, everything that we've seen here nothing suggests actually increasing performance. The closest
Right.
we have is the quote-unquote long-range upgrade kit, which I feel like
It's just
Nerf
going to
will
be
be
a
like,
sniper rifle barrel.
right, like here's a barrel, maybe an optic of some sort to make it look like a sniper rifle, but the performance isn't actually going to change. That's what I'm thinking, because it doesn't seem like Nerf has ever really been about, oh, let's make the performance less than it can be, and then have people be able to upgrade to something better. Like,
Right.
they just try to make it as good as it can get.
The
I
only
mean,
way,
obviously within their own realm of
the
stuff.
only way that
Mm.
a sniper rifle upgrade kit could be upgraded, the only way I'm thinking is if they actually took and made a Nerf branded afterburner kit, and it was a
Yeah.
flywheel blaster.
That would be pretty cool.
Like you click it, you click in the barrel, it just, it obviously touches with the thing, and then boom, you're ready to go. That would,
Right.
honestly, I would forgive Nerf for an entire year. They can make an entire year of dumb shit if that's actually what they did.
Right. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. I
If
mean,
they made a barrel afterburner, I feel like the internet should forgive them for 1 year. Just like whatever shit you want to put out, let it ride.
yeah, can I actually?
Because that would be so far out of the box. That would be so far out of the box for what they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'd
Oh
be a
yeah.
legit performance upgrade. Even if it was, standard flywheel speeds and, nothing crazy, it'd be the principle of them doing that. And taking a very popular mod and once again, like they
So,
just did with otherwise.
in the whole spirit of looking at this thing, oh shoot, did I close the page? No. Okay, cool. So apparently this user searched for Rotofury and said these items, among many others, came up on the website. So what I've done is, while we've been talking here, I just put in Nerf and searched the entire ABG Hasbro distributor, whatever this is. I've never been to this site before, never heard of it, but the first thing that came up is Nerf Elite Strong Arm. Cool. And the next thing that comes up, and no image coming soon, Nerf N-Strike Elite Incinerator.
That's
They're
obviously,
making the
that's
flamethrower.
obviously the first N-Strike water gun, Josh, that shoots red water to pretend it's fire.
I'm just saying that sounds cool, and I don't know why if no one else has checked this or done anything, or if that's incorrect, but that sounds amazing. I want to know more about this incinerator.
I want to
I'm very
believe it's
intrigued.
actually just like a vacuum cleaner flipped into reverse filled with Nerf darts, so it's spraying darts everywhere. Oh, that would be so good for our games, especially the bridge. Imagine going in there with like a flamethrower weapon.
Oh my God.
Just clear it out.
So far everything else, Deco Rebel crossbow. I'm just going through. The Nerf SOA freeze fire, which I assume is going to be a Nerf super soaker of some kind.
Yes, with a cooler pack.
I can only assume that. I don't know what the SOA stands for. It's clearly Sons of Anarchy freeze fire, guys.
Yep.
Just duh.
It could be both those blasters might be the continuations of the Fire and Ice series that we've seen. I mean, they
Could
just
be.
really basic reshells on stuff.
But I feel like the Fire and Ice series, every time we see something, it's like a fire blaster.
Yeah.
Or like a Sonic Ice Centurion, right? It's already a blaster that's in production. Like, they don't change the name of the
These
blaster.
actually have new names. That's a good point.
The other thing that came up is the Bow Blaster Nerf Rebel Sneak Attackers. I have no idea. $10.99. I guess I could well, sorry, it's not dollars, it's in pounds, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't know Bow Blaster Sneak Attackers, what that at all. The SOA, I feel like, again, SOA has got to be SOA Double Drench, so it's got to be Super Soaker or something, or some
Spies or agents.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Something. Yeah, they do have a spies and agents. No, it's secrets and spies. But they could have a new sort of subline in the Rebel line that is going to feature water guns or something like that.
Or just Sons of Anarchy,
Yeah,
might
I'm down with that too. It would be a very odd crossover, but sure, why not? Let's see. Nerf Rebel Competition Target Bow Blast. Sounds like a blaster that comes with a.
Target.
We're just completely spitballing here at this point, guys. Like
Yeah.
some sort of target or something. Rebel Heartbreaker Bow, Side Strike. This is a Double Strike, Sling Fire. Nerf N Strike Smart Blaster.
Please let it be a drone.
This is
Just
awesome.
flies around, targeting system, does everything you need it to.
Okay, we got a lot of refill packs here. Mega Cyclone, which I assume is the Cyclone Shock. I don't know if they. Oh, look at here's another SOA. SOA Flood Fire. These have to be some sort of Super Soaker.
Yeah. I mean,
Agent
SOA
Bow.
could stand for Soaker.
Yeah, that's one of the Soak.
Yeah.
Nerf Rebel Mini Mischief. For Victory. Secret Shot. We've talked about that with Duke Wintermall. Strongheart. This one actually says Rebel Super Soaker Cascade. Maybe, I mean, it's. Oh, Rotofury. Here we go.
Yeah.
Doominator. There we go. All right. There's this
Golden.
Modulus Flip Upgrade Kit, which I can only imagine is like remember they used to have the old 6-round flip clip upgrade kits that came with like 2 6-rounds and they had a little thing and you flip it.
I was really hoping for Jungle Mags.
Yeah, I hope it's something like a better version of that.
It's going to be the same one.
Stealth Ops, the Modulus Stealth Ops upgrade kit. I can't imagine like what can you do to make a blaster more stealthy. Like
Josh, you can obviously add flat paneled shields to the side of it.
Yes, could do that.
Or
color?
Remember that those toys where you used to get them wet and they change color?
Yeah, like the Hot Wheels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's all we need, bro.
The Super Soaker that changes colors. There we go.
The Modulus is going to come out as the Nerf Gimmick Gore.
Well, they have here the Modulus Strike N. I think they mean N Strike Defend Upgrade Kit.
So I'm gonna go on record.
All right.
The flip clip will be the older flip clip with the newer spring to make it better.
What's the older flip clip?
The one that's used, the little gray thing, used to put the 2 clips together on.
There's no spring in it.
or however the hell the thing's made.
It's literally just a thing that attaches two magazines together, like butt to butt.
It just slides on.
Wait, I'm sorry I gave them credit that the internal mechanism used some kind of spring. I apologize for giving her too much credit. Your hipster card has been reinstated. Secondly, the defend is going to be the Stampede Shield.
That's what I was going to say.
Yep.
Because they just use the Vulcan's tripod for the stupid Rhino Fire.
Is that?
I don't know how that is the Vulcan's tripod.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's about to be old accessories made new again. If it's the Stampede Shield, I might buy a Modulus just to pee on it.
Well, you can just clearly just buy this upgrade kit, and
then I'm going to pee on the Modulus with the upgrade kit.
There you go.
There'll be all kinds of pee. But they could save it by making the long range kit an afterburner. That's how they could save their entire franchise.
I mean, I would hazard a guess at that not being the case, because I'm looking at these. The flip clip, the Stealth Ops, the Defend, and the long range kit are all the same price. At this $15.99.
So it's going to be. You know what it'll probably be? Maybe it'll be the long strike barrel.
That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be like, here's a long strike barrel and this other stuff, just to make it look snipery. Which it's funny because this is basically what we've been asking for from Nerf, right? Is just release accessories, and instead they're trying to. As long as the accessories aren't just for like this blaster, like there's some weird way you can only use them on this.
Oh, that would bring the seriously, Nerf Reddit might just come down.
That'd be the ultimate middle finger right there.
That would be Hasbro just like, we don't care. Screw you guys. So we got the Modulus on here, ECS 10. The Nerf Rebel Aerotech Lightning Bolt Bow. I don't know. And then the Rebel Aerotech Auto Quiver Bow, which I assume is when we just talked about. And then the Secrets and Spies Lockout X-Bow. And the Secrets and Spies Codebreaker. And the Nerf Sports Arrow... Oh, sports, okay, I think that's got to be actual, like, footballs and stuff, or Frisbees, the Arrow Howler. Codebreaker, man, they've got a lot of bows for the Rebel series. I'm sure that...
They have to clear their inventory before the last Hunger Games comes out, Josh.
That's a good point. They're like, hey, listen, we've got last Hunger Games movie and Avengers coming out. Let's get those bows. Bows.
Oh yeah, after Hunger Games dies, it'll be a dark day.
Dude, Rob is just gonna be like, oh, stop bringing out Jolts and bows.
Hey, he's getting plenty of big red stuff to play with. He should be happy.
Yes, you should be happy. So interesting stuff.
Busy week. Busy week.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully we'll see some more
gentlemen,
stuff.
I'm gonna sign off. It's 5 a.m. I got to be up in 2.5 hours. So.
Well, enjoy being not here at
on
the moment.
adventures.
I will do. Hey, Josh, are my dogs still alive?
They are still alive, very
Fantastic.
much so.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the podcast, and everybody, posse out.
All right, take it easy. So, Alex, it's gonna leave us. It's gonna leave us with the picture of
half of his face.
You can never leave now.
I'll make it stop.
I think I can kick you from here. Oh, let me see.
Eject.
I'll eject you. Later, dude.
Later.
Okay, there we go. He is out of here. You can go to bed. Oops, clicked on the thing that came up. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really more intrigued now about the Modulus. I remember when it first came out, we were kind of like, meh. I'm least excited about that. I'm still not super excited because I don't really know anything about it. But you know, I'm just more. My interests have been piqued in just seeing what they kind of want to do with it. But I still feel like it's going to be exactly like we originally said.
It's going to be a souped-up Retaliator. I think that's what the end game is going to be. It's a very nice-looking Retaliator. If the purpose of it is to market all these old accessories differently, I'll be okay with that, because that way if people want new barrels, they don't have to go through like third-party sellers. They don't have to like buy new blasters. $16 to get the accessories you want is what I've been saying Nerf needs to do all along. It's just blast.
I think we're probably looking at a flywheel blaster, just because it seems like that's easier for them to do and add accessories to, because you don't have to worry about having a particular priming mechanism. So they can have add-ons that do different things, like shields and stuff. If they did want to use old accessories, they don't have to worry about, like, the Retaliator has that really weird, well, not weird, but the overhand prime. So you couldn't really have the shield on there and make it something that people are going to want to spend $14, $15 on for that. Whereas if it's something like the Can ECS, but all this stuff works on it, you know, I feel like they're going to go flywheel just because that seems to be their thing right now. It's like their MO. Their big blaster, make it flywheel, so you can basically go semi-auto. If it was full auto, that would be interesting. I don't know if they would do that.
I think that'd be digging into the Rapid Strike's glory a little bit. So.
Right, but I mean, we haven't had a fully auto blaster since then. That's clip fed, you know. So that would be interesting. Definitely, whichever way they decide to do it. If they made it so that you could select the two, it would be awesome. I would throw everything out the window and be like, that's pretty friggin' awesome. Even, I mean, at its default rate of fire. I know the Rapid Strike is not the fastest firing blaster, but the idea that they were just listening, and if they made that would be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
Like, all gimmicks aside, it'd be pretty neat to have. So yeah, I don't know. Interested to see.
Same here.
Interested indeed. And other than that, I don't know if there was a whole lot of other stuff we were going to talk about or wanted to talk about. I mean, that's sort of a lot of different stuff coming up. I know we said a bunch of names of like Rebel stuff, but at this
Mhm.
point, their names are just so kind of crazy
Yeah.
that you can't really infer much besides, oh, this is going to be a bow because it's called the something bow. But like the
Yeah.
Codebreaker, no idea. That might already be a blaster that's out that they just have the wrong name on, or they
Mhm.
might, who knows? I mean, the stuff that we talked about today, I would have no idea. The Roto Fury, I would assume rotated in some way,
Yeah.
right? But the Doominator, I would have no idea what the Doominator was like. Probably a big blaster because Doom.
We could have just guessed that it was a crossover with Marvel, and it was a
Right.
Doctor Doom blaster, which would be awesome. Hasbro, get on that. We need more Doom blasters
For real. Come on.
and Doom bots.
Yeah. Yeah, this other stuff, could all be interesting. I'm just glad that it seems like they have some actual stuff planned, and like their whole lineup for 2015 didn't get leaked in that one image that hit the net a while back.
Plus, we still have the Toy Fair coming up too, right?
Yes, yeah. So I'll be interested to see what they sort of announce during that time. Again, hopefully it's not their whole line. Obviously, their cover hasn't been completely blown because we've already had some stuff come out that was not on that list. So that's friggin' awesome. I mean, we did mention that when that list came out originally, there's no Zombie Strike line. I don't think there might have been a few things because I want to say the Flip Fury was on there, but they didn't have like a separate section for the Zombie Strike line. It was like Mega.
I think like 2 items: the Flip Fury and maybe like one other blaster.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but and I haven't seen that picture. But there was like no Rebel stuff on it, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
So we have a lot, I think, still coming up to be seen. Like, I don't think this list we found with all the accessories listed on here, I don't think that's going to be the extent of what's coming out this year by a long shot.
Yes, so I'm looking this up really quick, the 2015 catalog, quote unquote, and it doesn't seem like they have things listed in any particular order. I mean, it's a little bit cut off, so I don't know. They have the Jolt, Triad, Fire Strike, Sling Strike, Strong Arm, Sharp Fire, Flip Fury, Retaliator, and Rhino Fire. All of those we've seen actually hit shelves. The Strife, Rapid Strike, Demolisher, and Crossbolt, I can talk, have pretty much all hit shelves, with the Crossbolt being meh. Like I don't know if that's actually seen the light of day as of yet. We've had people talk about it and speculate on it. I don't remember people actually saying they've seen it in stores yet. Big Shot, Cyclone Shock, Berserker, which is now the Roto Fury.
Yep.
And then the Modulus, which just says Assemble next to it, and looks like a bajillion different blasters all put into one. Like there's a scope on it. There's like a little front piece that almost looks like the priming mech for the priming handle for a Alpha Trooper. But then it has a vertical grip as well, and it has a stock on it that looks very similar to the old, what was it? What was the Retaliator? The pre-Retaliator, the yellow version.
The Recon.
The Recon, thank you, like the Recon stock.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of stuff that's way too small to actually see.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool that stuff like the Doominator and whatnot have, come out, and not obviously nothing Rebel-wise. Cool.
Very
beans.
exciting.
Indeed. So,
alrighty. So other than that, I mean, were there any other topics? Anything on Reddit we need to talk about?
I don't know. Let me double check and see if there's anything really crazy on Reddit. I know there was a few things with some blasters that have been like just people doing stuff to blasters, that mods and bullpup designs and things like that. We could probably save some of that for another episode because we've been going decently long this time, and I don't have absolutely nothing to talk about in the next podcast.
Yeah.
There's like a bullpup rapid strike and a bullpup retaliator, I think. I don't remember. Yeah.
Other than that, I just had a couple of house cleaning things real quick. I believe San Francisco State University is holding Humans versus Zombies versus Vampires on should be Saturday the 31st of January, last day of the month, if I recall correctly. Check it out. Looks interesting because it looks like they're adding a third element in there. Don't know what the vampires are going to do. Other than that,
No. Wait. It's werewolves, isn't it?
is it werewolves?
It's werewolves versus vampires versus zombies. I didn't even read the description. I just remember reading the title. Hold on, let me find out. You can keep talking. I will find out. Regardless, it's going to be humans versus zombies versus vampires versus werewolves. That sounds like too many. I think it's just 3. I think they took the humans out completely.
Yeah, no more humans.
Yes, no more humans. Yes. Yes. I don't know how this is going to... I have not read any of the rules for this because I don't know if I'm going to be there or not.
Yeah. I will be in Tahoe that weekend, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to miss it.
Yeah, that's my anniversary with my girlfriend weekend. Yeah. Let's see. Live action game. Where is it? It doesn't actually say. It just says survive the onslaught as a werewolf or vampire and swarm the enemy as a zombie. So
I'm sure they'll probably reveal the rules right as the game starts. So.
Oh, I'm sure there's like a thing I can click on for a document, but at that point it just gets too long to read for our viewers.
Yeah. If you live in the Bay Area, go to the Facebook, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, right now we're currently hosting a contest. Josh, you want to go give them a quick overview of that?
Yeah. So shoot us an email, bayareanerf@gmail.com. With the subject should just be 500, just the number 500.
Yep.
That's how many subscribers we got when we launched the contest. In the actual email, just include your YouTube username because we have to verify that you're an actual subscriber if you do win. And shoot us a picture of something Nerf related. You can be a picture of you playing, you and your friends, your Nerf arsenal. You could draw us pictures, pictures of blasters, mods, whatever. We're going to, at the end of the month is the cutoff date, so the end of January. We'll start looking at all of the submissions that we got and decide which ones we want to pick for winners. There's no real criteria. We can have some that are cool, some that are funny, some that are kind of whatever you think would be neat and want to send our way. You can send pretty much as many pictures as you want. We don't really, right now we've had people send us 3 or 4 things. Don't send us like 100 because we probably just try to pick something that you think is good. If you send us 100 pictures, it's going to be kind of rough. I don't know if it's going to increase your chances at all, because if you're just a really bad photographer and they're all blurry, then there are going to be a bunch of blurry pictures.
Yeah.
But so be sure to enter that, guys. We're giving away some pretty cool stuff. I'll see if I can add a link to the description video that shows what.
And the contest is international, right?
It is international. We're going to ship anywhere, and hopefully that'll not put me into debt for the rest of this year by doing that. But
that would suck. But yeah, anyone can play. We've gotten some awesome submissions so far. Some great, funny pictures, cool pictures. Yeah, I'm always curious to see what's going to come in my inbox the next day. So keep them coming. Definitely are more fun contests. Way more fun than the Alpha Trooper contest.
Yeah, definitely. We've enjoyed seeing just the pictures of people who listen to the podcast and some of their arsenals and stuff and the way that they play. It's really cool. We like interacting with you guys any way possible, and we know we keep saying we want to do a live cast one of these days again. That was a lot of fun. We'll try to hook something like that up soon. But yeah, any way of interacting with you guys is really cool, because we like meeting you guys, talking with you, seeing your stuff, hearing from you in any way, shape, or form, pretty much.
Yep. And then other than that, obviously Burn is still in the off season. We got a couple more months left of that. But I mean, it's never too early to start prepping. That's always my motto. So yeah, that's pretty much it on my end. So
yeah, I can't think of anything either. I was just going to mention the contest, but you brought it up, and think other than that, there's nothing going on here.
All right, fantastic.
That's all I got. It's a double strike.
Roto.
I've been shooting this at home. It's been surprisingly more fun than all of the
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Elite 360 no scope, or is it 360 rotoscope?
God, that's loud.
That is awesome. It's still so awesome. It makes you almost miss the Vortex line.
Almost, but not quite.
Yeah.
All right. So from everyone here at Nerfcast, this is Shawn.
This is Josh.
Happy
Happy
tagging.
tagging.